Remember a couple of weeks ago when Carlos Correa came out and said, quote, "I know a lot of people don't want to see us here, but what are they going to say now?" If you recall, we did a show and a video on it. You could still find it. It's entitled, appropriately, "Shut Up, Carlos Correa." And I said in the video basically this: Carlos, your words mean nothing. Your actions mean everything. Now, at the time, I got a lot of pushback for that because, unfortunately for me, Correa was hitting .400 in the ALDS. A respected Houston radio host told me, quote, on Twitter, "This continues to age so poorly that I'm embarrassed for you and your family, you dweeb." Another host on Facebook kept commenting on my status every time the Astros won, just saying update. Update, update, update. What's the latest? Update. Of course, when the Astros ended up getting eliminated on Saturday and I responded, there was radio silence. I'm not surprised. My question is to the Astros apologists and the Astros faithful is this: what was proven in this series? What was proven for the Astros all year? The best response I've seen and heard is that this was a moral victory. The Astros were beat down. To even get to Game 7 is a huge accomplishment. I'm not into moral victories. I'm into facts. The fact is the Astros are out there done. The fact is their payroll is one of the highest in baseball, $200+ million. The Rays, $80 million. The Rays beat it. The fact is the Astros can't win when they play fairly. Never mind the fact that they should have never been in the first place. 29-31 is never playoff worthy. It's an abomination that the MLB made that a rule for this year. And I'll tell you one thing, if that continues in the future, you're losing a lot of viewers, including myself. I will not watch baseball if we regularly see it turn into the NBA, if we see uncompetitive teams get to the postseason. I'm not going to watch. I don't care. I have other things to do at my time. There would have been an asterisk next to the Astros' name had they won the World Series, at least in my book, and there's no bias there. That's the truth. I'm not going to give a team credit for limping through the regular season, playing under .500 baseball, having 4 hitters, have an OPS plus above 100, and that's it. There's no credit given out there. I have no sympathy for that. What, because they play a couple of good games in the postseason and they make it that far, they deserve the credit? No, they don't. Baseball is unique in the sense that you have to be damn good to get to the postseason, usually. This year was an exception. So if that's the case, be damn good enough to not have an asterisk next to your name. Be good enough to not be under .500 and limp into the playoffs as the number 8 seed. That's the fact. That's the truth. You can't argue with me on it. Astros faithful, what are you saying? What are you doing? We had so many injuries. Rays did too. The Rays had issues too. Yeah, well, Justin Verlander was gone and Garrett Cole. Verlander had Tommy John, that's fair. Garrett Cole, it's not my fault. You didn't fork over money to pay him. The only person I'll give credit to, minimally on the Astros, believe it or not, is Dusty Baker. I will. Not a fan of his managerial style. The guy never wins, and that was proven this year, but he did lead that team to Game 7 of the ALCS. Good for him. Maybe that lengthens his career as a manager. Who knows? But the facts are the facts. I don't know why Houston media, I don't know why national media is covering for this team. If you're an Astros fan, you have a lot to be scared about. There's nothing to be encouraged by with this series, okay? The problems that you had all season have not gone away. The team had 4 hitters who were good, with OPS pluses above 100. Everybody else stunk. The guys who were superstars for years with the cheating system tanked. Jose Altuve can't hit. Now he can't throw. Now Altuve can't even throw to second base. He is worthless as a player right now. We know that. We saw it. Carlos Correa hit horribly during the season. 92 OPS plus. 92. And that shouldn't go away because of one stretch of games. Remember, in the ALCS, Correa hit 240. But I was wrong in saying that Correa's actions mean a lot, right? My take aged so poorly that I should be embarrassed about myself and my family, apparently. That's what we're going with now. Correa hit 240. Baseball is the definition of the law of averages. You can have a great 5 or 6 games and hit 400, but in the end, you will always balance out to where you're supposed to be. In Correa's case, that's 240, 250. Without cheating. That should be a concern to people. Never mind the walk-off home run. That's one moment. What about the whole series when it really mattered? What about Game 7 when it really mattered? Silent, nothing to be found. Alex Bregman hit 242. I mean, you can't make these numbers up. Astros faithful. Look at the facts. There's nothing to be excited about. The Astros had 7 or 8 different guys even start a game for them, too. The starting rotation's depleted. And my guess is Verlander won't be back in time for 2021. Maybe mid-season, but not at the beginning. There are issues within this team. Zach Greinke, future Hall of Famer, had an ERA above 4 this year. The guys who they counted on couldn't come through, let alone other guys who benefited from the cheating system. That's a concern. Stop drinking the delusion. Stop inhaling what you think is right and look at the facts. The fact is, this team is in big trouble in the future. Hell, we don't even know who's going to manage them next year. Will they re-sign Dusty Baker? I don't even know. No one knows. There are so many issues with this team. They were masked by a couple of games in the postseason. Remember, they should not have been there. I, along with many other people, would have put an asterisk next to their name if they had won the World Series. Plain and simple. A 29-31 team has no business playing in October. You could spin that any way you want. You know I'm right. You know it. This isn't the NBA. This is the MLB. Go ahead, Houston media. Take your best cracks again. But you were wrong the first time. Oh, Correa's really good. He's hitting 400. Law of averages, back down to 240. Oh, that's okay. The Astros did a great job with what they had. No, they didn't. They really didn't. Had they done a great job, we'd be talking about them in the World Series right now. They did nothing right or good. Let's face it, this team can't play if they don't know what pitches are coming. They're just another baseball team, another 500 team, because that's what they were this year. An under 500 team even. I don't see why we should be praising that or celebrating that. I don't see why that makes any sense. They're on the downturn. Their window is over. The window was open because of cheating. Now it's gone. Completely gone. For some reason, no one wants to acknowledge it. People still want to give the Astros credit for getting to this point. That's insane. There's no credit for anybody. The only person who gets a shred of credit is Dusty Baker. You know why? He was not there the year they cheated. He's a new guy. I'll give him his due for managing this team and getting them to a Game 7. Good for him. That's it. I have no sympathy for any of these guys. And I can't stress this enough, I hate the moral victories that we're hearing about after they've been eliminated. Fess up, you lost. It's over. Just be honest. You guys shouldn't have been there. You got there, you lost because you weren't good. That's it. That's all you have to say. I'd be more respectful of you if you came out and told the truth and not covered it up with moral victory talk. Again, Astros have a payroll of about $200 million. That's without Garrett Cole. The Rays have $80 million. That's it. And the Rays are in the World Series. There's literally no excuse. Or there's one excuse, sorry. The fact that they couldn't see what pitches were coming. My bad. I have no sympathy. I don't feel for anybody within that organization or within that city who's a fan. You lost fair and square. You should have never been there. No matter what people tell you, no matter how you try and spin it, you can't. Numbers don't lie. If you're under 500 in baseball, there is no reason why you should be in the playoffs. No reason. This isn't the NBA. We don't let everybody in. We shouldn't let everybody in. And this policy better stop come next year. Houston fans, say what you want. You could celebrate the fact that you guys made it to a Game 7. But the truth is, again, you lost. You weren't good enough. You never were good enough. And there are a lot of problems within this organization that for some reason no one wants to address, so I'll do it. You need pitching. You need hitting. You need a new second baseman, too, because he can't make the throw to second base or first base. That's pretty daunting. It sounds to me like another rebuild should come. That's just me. So instead of celebrating the moral victory, instead of basking in the glory of a Game 7 against the Tampa Bay Rays, I would pipe down a bit. Because come next year, there won't be any celebrating. There are going to be issues, serious issues within this team. And if they're not corrected or addressed or even talked about, if they're swept under the rug like they've been, don't be surprised when this team doesn't snip the playoffs come next year. More to come here on Sports Talk Chicago. My interview with George Hoffman comes up next, so stay tuned.